Welcome back to Bible Shorts, episode 22, A Pharaoh Who Does Not Know Joseph. Now remember, in our previous episodes, we learned how the sons of Jacob came to Egypt with their father, each with his own household, and they lived in Egypt, along with their brother Joseph, who was already there. Then Jacob died, and eventually Joseph and all his brothers died, and that whole generation. But the descendants of Joseph and his brothers had lots of children, so that the land was filled with them. Now a new king arose over Egypt, a Pharaoh who did not know Joseph. He said to his people, "Look, the Israelite people are more numerous and more powerful than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, or they will increase, and in the event of war, join our enemies and fight against us." Therefore they set taskmasters over them to oppress them with forced labor, and they built supply cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread, so that the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and made their lives bitter with hard service. Then Pharaoh called for the Israelite midwives, the women who helped other women in their community give birth. And Pharaoh will call them Hebrew women, because that is the name commonly used to refer to the Israelites in Egypt. Pharaoh said, "When you act as midwives to the Hebrew women, if it is a boy, kill him, but if it is a girl, she shall live." But the midwives feared God, and they did not do as the king of Egypt commanded them, but they let the boys live. So Pharaoh summoned the midwives and said to them, "Why have you done this and allowed the boys to live?" The midwives said to Pharaoh, "Because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they give birth before the midwife comes to them." Then Pharaoh commanded all his people, "Every boy that is born to the Hebrews you shall throw into the Nile, but you shall let every girl live." Now, a man from the house of Levi went and married a Levite woman. That means they were descended from Jacob's third son, Levi. The woman conceived and bore a son, and when she saw that he was a fine baby, she hid him 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and plastered it with bitumen and pitch. She put the child in it and placed it among the reeds on the bank of the river. His sister Miriam stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Now the daughter of Pharaoh came down to bathe at the river, while her attendants walked beside the river. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her maid to bring it. When she opened it, she saw the child. He was crying, and she took pity on him. "This must be one of the Hebrews' children," she said. Then his sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Yes." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse it for me, and I will give you your wages." So the woman took the child and nursed it. When the child grew up, she brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, and she took him as her son. She named him Moses. Then, one day, after Moses had grown up, he went out to his people and saw their forced labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his kinfolk. He looked this way and that, and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. When he went out the next day, he saw two Hebrews fighting, and he said to the one who was in the wrong, "Why do you strike your fellow Hebrew?" The man answered, "Who made you a ruler and judge over us? Do you mean to kill me as you killed that Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "Surely the thing is known." And when Pharaoh heard of it, he sought to have Moses killed. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and kept on running until he got to the land of Midian. What happens next? Look for episode 23. God hears the cry of his people in Egypt.